At that moment, I was doing no appraisal work at all. But I'll tell you something, a lot of appraisal work in my office was being done.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
All right, folks, I'll admit right up front, the title of this particular episode is a little made up. There's no such term, I don't think anyway, as llama money. But I want to tell you a story today that I hope will inspire you. I hope will push you to achieve your dreams that, by the way, may have nothing to do at all with llamas. I want to stop here and pause and remind you that we are sponsored by Anow Software, folks. I had an awesome opportunity to meet with the folks at Anow Software just yesterday before this recording, and wow, this is an amazing software, and it is going places. Check it out by going to anow.com/coach. One more time, it's anow.com/coach. Folks, the best way to set this up is just to tell you a story and then to maybe drive home some principles by just kind of pulling them out of the story. I recently had an opportunity to be in the hills. And by the way, there is a reason that I live where I live. There is a reason that I choose to live in Idaho. Now, for the rest of you who live outside the state, it is miserably cold here. It's horribly cold here. It is almost unlivable. In fact, it is unlivable. Just stay where you're at. Okay. For the rest of us who were raised here that have, I guess, a little tougher skin, maybe have a little bit more fat around our bellies and can survive through those winters, it is a beautiful, gorgeous state. I live in the backyard of Yellowstone National Park, of the Grand Tetons. In fact, I see the Tetons nearly every day. It is a beautiful area. I live just a 5-minute walk from the South Fork of the Snake River. This is world-class fly fishing territory. Big game. We see deer in our yard, moose in our yard daily, if not 4 or 5 times a week. It just is a beautiful place to live. We're talking pine trees. We're talking quakies. We're talking rivers and streams and rocky cliffs and beautiful meadows. It's wonderful. It really, truly is a wonderful place to live. And I find that is what drives me. That's my happy place, is to be out in the wilderness, and more importantly, to be out in the wilderness with my children. I had an opportunity recently to do some hiking up in the hills just east of town here. This is about an hour's drive. Now, it's only about 15 miles, so do the math, right? No, we're not talking traffic. It's one of those areas that just takes a while to creep along the dirt roads till you get to your destination. And I had an opportunity to be back in there with my children and their friends, and it was a fabulous, fabulous time. And I found myself in need of llamas. I know, it's weird. We were back in the backcountry. We needed to pack some heavy loads, and I found myself in need of a horse, a mule, or, hey, why not, a llama? I had done some research earlier this year and found that one of the foremost outfitters in the world for llamas, now not including Argentina, of course, and South America where they're much bigger, but one of the foremost outfitters, at least in the U.S., is honestly right around the corner from me. I mean, literally a 2-minute drive from my driveway. And he has, 100 plus llamas, and he rents them by the day. And I know what you're thinking, Dustin, what are you talking about? Llamas, what? Yeah, when you're in the backcountry, folks, and you're as fat as I am, and you need to carry a load, llama's a good way to go, I found. And I had need for a llama, right? And I went and got one. In fact, I got 2. And I borrowed a horse trailer from my father-in-law. He was raised as a cowboy, still is a cowboy. Went and got the horse trailer, went and picked up the llamas, and went up into the wilderness. And there's a little bit of snow on the ground, but not much. Just a skiff. And it was a beautiful, beautiful day. We got up there mid-morning and got back before dark. Probably hiked, close to 5 miles up and down the mountains through the trees, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful. We laughed, we talked, we got to know each other better. Again, I'm with my children, and they each had a friend with them. It was fabulous, folks. I can't tell you what an experience it was. But there is a point to this story, I promise. And I'll tell you that point in just a second. I want to pause here and remind you that we are sponsored by a great company, a company that I use daily. I use it to manage my appraisal software, right? But I'll tell you, they've got a new product coming out it's amazing. It's called Nexus. And yes, it is a form filler. And yes, it is a mobile app. And it is the opportunity to be able to fill stuff out real time. Okay? We're talking you can have somebody in the field, you can have an assistant in the Philippines, you can have somebody back at your office, and you can have an appraiser across the U.S. all working on the same report. Wait for it, at the same time. Anow software is where it's at. It's anow.com/coach to check it out. anow.com/coach. All right, folks, we are back. We're talking about llamas today. Actually, we're talking about something a little bit more important than llamas. Because when I was out in the wilderness, okay, keep in mind, this was not a Saturday, this was not a Sunday, this was not even a Friday afternoon. No, this was a Thursday. And Thursday is normally my Wyoming day, as you know. I've been very vocal about that. That's the day I go to Wyoming, right? Not that day. Close to Wyoming, but I wasn't doing no appraisal work. And I'm walking through the trees at one point. In fact, I remember exactly where I was. I came through a grove of, it was a mixture of pine and quakies. And by the way, if you've ever been in the Rocky Mountains, the pine trees mixed with the quakies is quintessential Rocky Mountain territory. I mean, just gorgeous, beautiful territory. We were very high. We were at that point, we were close to 8,000 feet up above sea level. And we walked through this grove of trees into this saddle. Okay, for those of you who are not familiar with mountains, that's basically where two peaks come together in the middle. Okay, so the saddle. Think about a saddle of a horse and how it kind of dips, right? We came across on this saddle and opened up in this beautiful vista. And it's a place I've been before, so I knew to expect it. I knew that it was coming, but it still was it caught me a little off guard. It's so beautiful up there, folks. Just gorgeous, gorgeous country. And I walked out there, and my first thought was, wow, this is beautiful. This is gorgeous. So glad I've had this opportunity. My second thought was, I'm being paid to be here. Now let that sink in for just a second. Well, Dustin, what do you mean? You weren't doing any appraisal work. Exactly. And that, my friends, was the coolest part. At that moment, I was doing no appraisal work at all. But I'll tell you something, a lot of appraisal work in my office was being done. And that is a cool, cool experience. Folks, when you can get to the point in your business where you can feel like you can leave, you can go do something, you can hit the golf course or go make a quilt or whatever it is that floats your boat, and you get paid to do it, okay? Not necessarily for the thing that you're doing, but you're being paid as you're doing it because you've set up your business in such a way that it runs without you. That's a cool feeling. Here's the other cool feeling. The fact that I decided I wanted to get llamas, and it really was not even a hesitation financially. Yeah, I rented them. They were not my llamas. I had to pay money for them. And frankly, it wasn't all that quote-unquote cheap. It wasn't all that expensive either. But it wasn't even a second thought. Folks, where are you at with your business? Do you have some changes to make to where you can get to the point that you can make financial decisions and it not be a heartache, that you can be gone from your business, be away from the office, not doing inspections, and actually being paid to be gone? I can help you with that. I love coaching other people and getting them to where they want to be. I've helped several appraisers just this year get to that point, from where they were paying themselves as a technician to where they were paying themselves as a business owner. If you're interested in coaching, please reach out to me. You can call me, 208-745-9330, or you can email me, thecoach@theappraisercoach.com, or jump on my website, theappraisercoach.com, and click on the coaching tab.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.
And actually being paid, sorry, editor. I've helped several appraisers. I've helped several. It's early.